Hello friends, and welcome to another episode of What the Hell is Going On? Let's talk about some internet drama, shall we? For a little over a decade now, the most inane things can get you called a racist or a Nazi on the internet, to the point where these words hold little to no meaning anymore. It's so bad that when someone is called a racist or a Nazi online, I'm immediately like, oh, what funny joke did they tell? But ladies and gentlemen, we have officially come to the point where not saying anything also makes you a racist Nazi. There's a very popular Twitch streamer named Emiru. She's a cosplayer and just kind of a fun, chill, normie video game streamer. Well, the other day, someone in her chat asked her opinion about ICE. And this is what she had to say.
Big mistake.
I get people wanting big content creators to, like, say their opinions on, like, important topics. I get that, right? But it's like, if you need a streamer who doesn't even know anything about politics to tell you about politics, you probably just need to get off the internet.
In a world where
that's what made him mad.
Seems like every single celebrity is just screaming their political takes completely unprompted. This was a refreshing thing to hear. Seems like a pretty sane, rational, inoffensive thing to say, right? Wrong. This short little clip where she ironically tried to avoid controversy ended up being one of the most controversial dramas this year. In this video, we are going to talk about the drama surrounding Emiru, the people trying to cancel her, the mistake the left is making by embracing cancel culture again. If you guys saw my last video, you know I am quite critical of ICE. I don't think we should abolish them, of course, but I think it is good and healthy to criticize your government. I talk about political topics often. Not everybody wants to listen to a political YouTuber or streamer. Sometimes we just want to have fun and talk about other things. People thought it was really refreshing when a cosplay streamer was basically like, I don't want to talk about politics. Why are you coming to me for politics? It was a perfectly sane, rational opinion, so of course, like, half the internet had a problem with it. It's just not that hard to say f ICE. Jesus Christ, how hard is it to just say f ICE? Post that really seemed to kick this all off was made by Denims, the self-described largest female political streamer. Let's hear her out. Never thought I'd see the day we'd be fence-sitting the modern Gestapo. First of all, she's not fence-sitting, she's just choosing not to talk about politics. Like, she didn't even say anything. Like, how do you even know what her opinion is? Second of all, modern
because you made it up.
Gestapo? Why is everything the f***ing Holocaust? I sit here and talk about the gender war and the culture war because I'm good at those things, and that's what people watch me for. That is my lane, and I stay in it. Emiru likes what she's doing. Her audience likes what she's doing.
She's right when she says most streamers are not qualified to talk about politics. Okay, here's the thing, dude. You actually don't have to be qualified to talk about politics to say f ICE.
But you should look into a topic, do your own research, come to your own conclusion, and form your own opinion on the topic. You should not just blindly, mindlessly say the line.
Oh, ICE? Okay, but unironically though, f them. If you don't like that I say that, it's f you too. It's really that easy for me.
There's Emiru's roommate saying the line. Aren't we all proud of her? Where are all her friends during all of this? Where are all her morally righteous, good guy, big streamer friends while this is all going down? While she's being dragged by half of the internet for doing absolutely nothing wrong. I guess it's fine to be silent when your friend is getting dragged by half of the internet.
The reason why a lot of other creators don't want to say anything about it is because they're afraid. They're afraid of speaking out against it. Honestly, I find it to be very embarrassing. Like, all of the people that didn't speak out and didn't say anything about this and didn't defend her, because in my opinion, right, it's like if you're friends with a person and this is happening to this person, I guess you don't really have an obligation to do it. But at the same time, I find it to be annoying that nobody else was really saying anything about it at all.
I don't even know this woman, and I'm sticking my neck out for her because it pisses me off seeing this kind of shit happen to people who absolutely do not deserve it.
If you're above the age of 18, you should care about politics in your country. You can't say like, well, I'm just not going to care about all this politics stuff.
These people like to make rules that everybody else has to live their life around.
There's this weird idea in America especially where like you can just be an adult and be like, oh, I don't care about politics. What?
Many people,
most
people, do not care that much about politics. Most people's lives do not revolve around politics. Sadly, it is getting harder and harder for the average person to not care about politics because politics is seeping into literally everything.
I would disagree with that. I think that overall, there's been a reseeding of politics. I think a lot of people are actually very fatigued from having politics put into sports, having it put into video games or put into movies or things like that.
Also, more importantly, Emiru wasn't saying that she doesn't care about politics. She was saying she didn't want to talk about politics. I feel like that is a huge difference. I hate when grown women don't have a mind of their own. You are 28 years old. Please develop a mind of your own. I never liked Emiru, so finding out she's stupid and doesn't have a mind of her own is nice. The audacity. If she didn't have a mind of her own, she would have mindlessly just been like, F ice. They are not angry that she doesn't have an opinion. They are angry that she doesn't have their opinion. The absolute audacity to say that this woman doesn't have a mind of her own while thousands of you people swarm her like drones, barking orders at her to say the line. It's not a coincidence that she answered the question this way and that her fan base consists heavily on Asian. I don't know where this is coming from. And this woman, the woman saying this is literally an OnlyFans, like an Asian OnlyFans model. The most insane part of all of this had to be when her ex-boyfriend, her allegedly abusive ex-boyfriend, posted his own ice in the middle of his ex-girlfriend being canceled for not saying that. Like, how fucking petty do you have to be to subtweet your ex like that? Another character involved in all
For legal purposes, I have no comment.
All this is former booby streamer Caseytron.
It reminds me of whenever Amarath started wearing a cowboy hat, because that's whenever she started going like full Nazi, basically. Whenever these Austin, Texas streamer circles start wearing cowboy hats, that's whenever you gotta watch out. Like, you know that she probably has like weird incels donating her hundreds of dollars. It's because, like, in my opinion, like, it's all a facade to appeal to the worst type of men. Because, like, really misogynistic, shitty incel-like men, they like a woman that doesn't have any opinions. She's like a pick-me for, like, incel freaks.
Before making this video, I watched a bunch of Emiru stuff, and I saw no signs of, like, pick-me behavior at all. What makes her a pick-me and not the booby streamer or OnlyFans models calling her a pick-me? You are literally selling your body for men to consume. If men do not pick pictures of your ass, you can't pay rent. To these people, whenever a woman has like an opinion that is not like the corporate HR approved opinion of the week, whenever a woman doesn't toe the line of the current thing, in this case, whenever a woman doesn't say anything, she's called a pick-me. Eventually, after a few days of being dogpiled by the most annoying people on earth, Emiru came out with a statement. Hello, it's very rare I will speak my mind, but I'd rather get my thoughts out there, so apologies if this is long. There's a clip from my stream that's been circulating a lot, so I'd like to explain it for anyone who was hurt or shocked by it. It should go without saying that no one deserves to live their life in fear of being killed or taken away from their homes or families, regardless of who's doing it, but especially not because of ICE or any other government agency. I understand the world is a very cruel and messed up place. You don't have to study politics or actively read the news to know that. I would never want to invalidate anyone who struggles with those things, and an agency causing fear and suffering deserves zero support. To me, that's not even political, it's basic human empathy. Now, I thought that statement was perfectly fine. My issue with it is she didn't have to make it. She was basically forced to come out and say her opinion. So did these freaks finally back off once Emiru made her opinion about ICE clear? No.
Like, the point was never about that. It doesn't matter what you tell them. Even if you agree with them, they'll say that you're only agreeing with them because they made you, and then so now they hate you. There's not a win condition. It's either they're right or you're wrong.
TLDR, go f yourself and your PR apology. Girl, we are not as dumb as you look.
I don't know about that.
I've been hating on her since day one and knew something was off about her. We need to do something about these male-centered women.
That's a fat woman's comment. That's absolutely a fat woman's comment. Guaranteed.
First of all, nothing is more male-centered than centering your life around hating men. Men just live rent-free in your fucking head. Take it up with God, go to therapy, do literally anything else than make it our problem. Once you bend the knee to these people, once you apologize or capitulate, it's over. These people don't actually want an apology. They want to humiliate you. They want to drag you down. At the end of the day, they have found a socially acceptable way to bully people. That's what this is. A lot of people in response to Emiru's statement were like, why did you apologize to the mob? Honestly, people don't realize how insane it can get. These people, the cult of the cry bully, they come in swarms, they get in your head, they prey on your empathy, they isolate you from your friends, they make you feel like a terrible person for having milquetoast normal ass opinions, or in this case, no opinion. What happened is Emiru just saw like a shit ton of people who were mad at her, and she wanted to do the correct thing. Unfortunately, this is just gonna make it worse. And they're moving on to one of their favorite tactics.
The big question in everyone's mind is, well, are you still friends with Asmongold?
While it is appreciated that you are taking a stand and clarifying the clip, you do continue to be vague about how deep your associations with Asmon are.
This is the crazy thing, right? Is that this has nothing to do with me. I don't do anything with Emiru on stream. I don't really go on her streams. She's not on my streams. And so because I was in OTK and she was in OTK, people lose their minds. And
I'm pretty sure she's still friends with Asmongold.
Now, whatever you think of Asmongold, he is friends with Emiru. They are friends, even though they disagree with each other. Crazy, right?
I literally said, like, I don't agree with the things he says. Like, what do y'all want me to do?
this was over the last drama. This is, by the way, a reason why I don't collab with anybody anymore. I don't want to have people get harassed on my behalf or have people get upset about me or anything else.
Around 2018, I was facing nearly daily harassment for being friends with someone who was on the right. Hundreds of people were on my ass like every day. They were calling my job. It was like non-stop. Now, this person was a good friend of mine, but in order to get all these people off my back, I did probably the cringiest thing ever, and I publicly disavowed her. Publicly disavowed a friend of mine over political differences. I bent the knee to a faceless mob of people who hate me, and in return, I received nothing. The harassment didn't stop, the hate didn't stop. Well, needless to say, karma is real, and the same thing happened to me years later. I was publicly disavowed by friends over political differences. This story ultimately does have a good ending. Me and my friend from 2018, we made up years ago, but looking back on all this in 2026 is extremely embarrassing. And if I knew what I knew now, I would have just told those people to go fuck themselves. But in the moment, it's incredibly stressful. And so I understand why Emiru came out and made a statement. I just really hope she doesn't wind up disavowing friends over political differences like I did. It was a huge mistake, and it is not worth it. We're going to find yourself surrounded by people who see you as a temporary ally and not a real friend.
That's what streaming friends are, by the way. They are temporary allies. They're not your real friends. Because if it was one of my real friends that was getting attacked by something, I would feel like I have to say something about them, right? I have to say something and defend them. And so if you don't have people that are speaking up and defending you, the odds are it's because they're not really your friend. They don't really care about it that much. They just simply find you to be convenient for their career. And the moment that you stop streaming or they stop streaming, you'll probably drift apart. And there's really nothing wrong with that. There are a lot of guys that I would talk to and I was like super close friends with whenever I worked at the IRS. And, you know, I don't even know what they're doing nowadays, right? Because, like, you know, they were coworkers. I like them a lot. I mean, honestly, I miss some of them. But, like, overall, like, life takes you in different directions, and that's the way that the world is, right? I mean, that's growing up. It's getting older. And so whenever you see that, I think that there's a lot of people that are streamers, and this is another factor, is that a lot of streamers are socially retarded. Many of them didn't have a lot of friends in high school. They weren't popular. They didn't have people that liked them. And in general, they were just kind of losers. For me, I wasn't. I mean, I wasn't like a super popular, like crazy cool guy, but like I always had a lot of friends and I always got along with people and I never had a problem fitting in anywhere I was in my whole life. And so because other people don't have that understanding, then they have a huge, huge problem being able to speak out about this. Like, they don't know how to have that type of an outlook on it.
There's nothing you can ever do to please these people, so why bother? And I know, like, with everything going on right now, like, is this really a video about cancel culture in 2026? Yeah, I feel like this is kind of important to talk about. I feel like this type of thing is part of the reason we are where we are right now. This type of stuff drives people away from the left. And more importantly than that, it's just evil. Attacking normie streamers for not wanting to be involved in political discourse. In conclusion, people are tired of having politics shoved down their throat, and you don't need to speak about things you don't want to speak about. You don't have to do that. These people are trying to socially ostracize this woman for not putting like a black square on her Instagram. They're just mad at Emiru for not doing like the ice bucket challenge or some shit. Like that's basically what has happened. If you are going to streamers for political information, you are cooked. If you are going to Sean Head for political information. You are deep fried. That was that little video. If you like my yapping, please subscribe. And if you can, donate to my Patreon down below. It really helps the channel out, and I appreciate it so much. And I will see you guys very soon with a new video. Bye!
Man. I mean, I agree with everything she's saying. It is an ecosystem and a community of people that are systematic bullies. They try to create a false consensus on social media because they can't create a real consensus at the ballot box. I don't want to get involved in like Emmy's, like her friends or something. Like, I don't know about that. I don't want to talk about it a lot for obvious reasons. I know them. But like overall, I do think that a lot of them should have defended her. I didn't like the fact that they didn't come out and say that. I'll link you guys the video. It's a great video. I'm very happy to see this.